Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I wanted to do a review on the Flower Beauty cosmetic line. It's sold at Walmart. You can find it at Ulta. You can purchase it online through the Flower Beauty website. And the reason why I really wanted to try these products out was because I'm a very avid YouTube watcher, and I've noticed within the past few weeks that we were seeing a lot of YouTubers that were kind of teaming up with Flower Beauty and you know, basically getting to meet her and posting these videos on her products. You know, I really wanted to kind of just take a look into these products to see if these products were really worth the time and attention that they were being given. So I went out to Ulta and I purchased some Flower Beauty products. I went to Walmart and I purchased other products from there. So I'm going to be talking to you about the foundation, the concealer, the eyeshadow, and the lip product that I'm wearing, and also a highlighting, blush, and bronzing trio. So pretty much I have a lot of Flower Beauty on my face that I tested out, and this is not a first impression. This is products that I have been testing out for some time already, kind of really giving them a fair shot. There are pros and cons to these products, I will say. So if you want to know more about it, then just please keep on watching. So let's start off with the skin. I am using the Flower Beauty foundation. This is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Luminous Makeup Nude Skin Feel Foundation. It says it has SPF 18 sunscreen in it. The shade I'm using is L3. So this foundation is marketed to be more of a full coverage, luminous, yet natural feeling foundation. When you squirt this out on your hand, it doesn't move. It is quite a thicker foundation, which usually those kinds of foundations tend to render more coverage on the skin, which is definitely something I'm all for. I definitely need the coverage. I have a lot of pigmentation, acne scarring, active breakouts, so I definitely need the coverage. So this is definitely a product that I really did enjoy. Looking at it right now on my skin and even going outside, although it says that it's a luminous foundation, I don't really find it to be super shiny. I would say it's more of like a natural finish foundation. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin when you first apply it. It is, like I said, a thicker formula, so you can feel it on your skin. I did go in with a beauty sponge today. This is a Japanese sponge, which definitely, if you haven't tried this sponge, I would definitely say try it out. I love this sponge. This is definitely the best affordable sponge that I have ever tried. It's very soft, bouncy, squishy, just really comfortable to use, and it's affordable. It's a really good sponge, but that's besides the point. So this foundation, like I mentioned, it does go on a little bit thick. It does blend out very, very well. It's a very nice foundation. Will I say that it's like the best foundation? No, because I don't think that it gives like 100% coverage that I like. You do have to build this up to get it to cover a lot of like redder spots if you have them on your skin. But it does do a really good job at evening out the skin tone, and it does definitely cover the redness once you build it up. It is a buildable foundation. The shade match, I would say that this does match me pretty well, minus my forehead. I tend to get tanner there, but everywhere else it does match pretty well. So as far as this foundation, I would recommend it. I mean, if you're looking for an affordable foundation that's going to perform very well and it's going to last, I have tried this out for long periods of time, and I do have oily skin, and it does well on my skin. So I would say that, you know, for the price that I paid for this foundation and for the way that it performs, definitely would recommend you giving it a try. So moving on to, let's go with the rest of the face complexion products. This concealer, okay, if there's anything that I talk about today that I would definitely recommend, like, you know, if there was one thing that I would say you should try, is definitely this concealer. This concealer is really, really good. It feels a little thicker when you apply it, but it gives you really good coverage. It definitely lasts a very long time. It does crease if you don't set it. Most concealers will. So I do set this concealer, but it really provides really good coverage. It's a thicker formula, but it blends out to more of a thin application, so it doesn't feel heavy. It lasts very well throughout the day. I do have oily skin, and even in the areas in my T-zone, it doesn't break up, it doesn't act weird, it doesn't crack at the end of the day. It's just a really, really good concealer. Honestly, like this one, I would probably compare the performance with this one with a Tarte Shape Tape. It's really, really close. I would just say that the coverage is a little bit different. I don't think that this has as much coverage as the Shape Tape, but it's very, very close. So if you're looking for an affordable alternative to the Shape Tape, you want to try a really good concealer at the drugstore, definitely try this Flower Beauty concealer. This is a Light Illusion full coverage concealer. This is definitely a winner for me. Try this, you will not regret it. It's so good. So more face products. I purchased this palette. So she does have or Flower Beauty does offer another highlighting powder, which is just the 3 highlights, but because I kind of wanted to try bronzer and blush without having to purchase those items separately, I went with this palette. So this palette has the bronzer, the blush, and a highlighter, and I believe it does come in 2 different shades. So that's what it looks like right there. I see it better from back here. So this palette, I like it. The highlighter is really, really good. It does perform really, really well. It provides a really good highlight. Same thing with the blush. It definitely has pigment in it. I mean, it's got color. Definitely shows up on the skin. Not sure if you can see it. My lights are probably washing it out. But it definitely has color to it. The bronzer, I would say it's a little warmer than I would like in a bronzer, but it does well for bronzing if you like the warmer shades. But if I do want to kind of do a little bit more of like a contouring, I do go in with like a deeper, a little bit more ashier tone contour color additionally to this bronzer. But it does give color, and you'll see in the clip, it does give color to the skin. It does bronze. It is pretty. The only downfall about this palette is it is extremely powdery. You just barely dab into the powders and it's like poof. There is a lot of powder that goes everywhere. With the blush especially, you'll be able to see in the clip, I go in there and I tap into the blush, and I'm like barely tapping into this blush. I'm not like an animal with my products. I do go in there, you know, with a good amount of force, enough to pick product but not enough to be beast mode. It is just a really soft powder, and it picks up a lot on your brush, a lot of product that you definitely don't need. So you do kind of waste product because of that. You can tap it off and then apply it lightly, and it's just fine. It performs very well. There's still a lot of pigment in it, but just keep that in mind that if you don't like powder that's just really loose and it's going to get messy like that, you may not like this. But as far as like the pigmentation, the quality, how long it wears, you know, it is a really good palette. So, you know, for this, I mean, I like it, but is it a must? I would say this highlighter is really pretty. So if you're into that like highlighting phase right now, that highlighting craze, I would say it is a really pretty highlighter. Not like 100% unique. It's like a very light champagne toned highlight that you can see. It does work. I mean, it's really pretty, but you know, I'm sure that you can find a dupe if really that's all you're interested in this palette. The pink is like a mauve-y, rosy. It's got a little bit of purple in it, kind of a blush, and like I said, the bronzer is pretty warm. So it's you know, up to you if that's something that those tones are what you like. And if you like the highlighting powder and you don't mind the fallout, then this is a pretty good palette, and it's reasonably priced as well. So yes, I really like it. It does perform very well, just has a lot of fallout. Speaking of fallout, the eyeshadows. So I have 2 little palettes here. These are called the Wanderlust eyeshadow palettes. I got a little bit like the cool toned theme, and then the warm tone themed eyeshadows. I have been trying these already for some time, and I can 100% say that as far as pigmentation, these do deliver. There is enough pigmentation in these palettes. I'm going to go ahead and just give you a quick swatcheroo of, for example, this copper one, which is like a metallic. Do you see that? Like, this performs like a high-end kind of an eyeshadow. It's insane. It's really pretty. swatch it right there. Do you see that pigmentation? I mean, these are like pigmented eyeshadows. But again, with the mattes especially, I will say that there is a ton of fallout. You barely tap in there with your brush and you're gonna get a lot of fallout. So they're so loosely pressed, these eyeshadows, so you just barely tap in there and it just kind of goes everywhere. So the metallics, they do perform very well. Here's another one. I'll swatch it here, and this one you can probably even use it as like a highlight. It's really pretty. They swatch really well, but let me let you know that this is a little bit of a chunkier formula. They're not smooth. So when you put your finger in there or your brush, you are going to see it kind of lift the product and it kind of looks like it's crumbling. But you can apply it smoothly, as you could see here on my hand. But it is a little bit definitely chunky. So you are going to have fallout, especially, so in this palette, I haven't tapped into the glittery one, but in the eyeshadow, oh, and by the way, this palette just completely, like, it broke. It is magnetized, so I do keep it so that the eyeshadows don't dry out. I just put it back on here and it sticks back on, but yeah, it kind of broke. So, you know, disappointed with that, but it's okay, it still works. And then this palette is the one that I used on my eyes today. I used the blue to kind of do like a winged out blue, and then I used some of these metallic shadows on the inner corner to kind of, I don't know, just try a different color. I've used the green before, which I really liked. These do perform really well, but don't do your foundation first because these get everywhere, and they do have the glitter. They have the glitter inside of these shadows. So this is the one that I used today. It's a really pretty silvery kind of metallic. And again, these are kind of chunky, so they are going to lose a lot of product as you're applying these on your eyes. When you're tapping your brush into here, it's chunkier. So when you go in to apply it into your eyes, you are going to have a lot of little specks of glitter floating everywhere, a little bit of chunks of the shadow kind of everywhere. You do need a little bit more control to be able to use these shadows, but the quality and the pigmentation is there, and I mean, they're very affordable. So if you like a little bit of color, you like glitter, and these are, I would say these are more on the wearable tones. I know that they're kind of color, but they're kind of those trendy kind of colors you can like put underneath a lower lash line or smoke them out in the outer corner or use them as a liner like I did, and they work really well. These two shadow palettes, I know that there's a third one, but I didn't pick that one up. I got them during a sale for buy one get one 50% off at Ulta. Plus additionally, you can use their coupon that they use. I think it's like $3.50 off of 15. So you can get them at a pretty decent price, and they do perform very well if you don't mind the fallout, if you don't mind doing your foundation afterwards, and you don't mind the cleanup. So overall, you know, I would say that yes, the hype was justified for these products. These are outstanding products for them being drugstore. I have tried another eyeshadow palette from Flower Beauty a long time ago, which is why I was skeptical. It did not do very well. I didn't like it. It was one of those little 4-quad eyeshadows. And I had picked it up from Walmart. I tried it. I didn't like it. It was one of those palettes where it looked really bland, but these products are good. So if you were, you know, a little bit skeptical, or you weren't sure if, you know, the hype was real, these products do really well. And then finally for the lips, I do have this Flower Beauty liquid lipstick. This one is in the color Bare Honey. I thought that this was going to be a little bit more of a beigey nude color. It looked like in the store, but now that I'm seeing it in the light, it definitely is mauvey pink, and that's exactly what I have on my lips today. I think it did very well with the pink and the blush. It just doesn't really go, I think, with the blue that I have on my shadow, but whatever. I wanted to try the product out on camera so you guys can see. This lip product, this isn't the first time that I wear it, and I have tried so many kinds of liquid lipsticks. Is it drying? And really that's what it comes down to me, the formula, if it's going to be comfortable. If it's a drying formula, I don't want it on my lips because I hate the feeling of dry lips. Also, if you have smaller lips and you use these kinds of drier formulas, they're just going to shrivel your lips up even more and kind of make them disappear. The product is pretty. When you apply it, it goes on, it feels a little bit wet. like a wet texture on your lips. It's kind of strange because almost all the other lip products that I've tried, I mean, they feel like a liquid, but they don't feel cold and wet like this one does. It's very strange. It feels a little bit cold and wet on your lips when you apply it. It is very pigmented. There's definitely pigmentation there. It didn't go on streaky, but again, this is the nude shade, so I don't know what it would be like with the bolder shades, if they would not be patchy or streaky. As far as this one, it applied smoothly. It was not patchy. It was not streaky. It was definitely pigmented. The wand, it's got like this rounded, it's more of a rounded shaped wand. As you can see, the edges of it is definitely more round, which quite honestly, I think it worked out because it helps you apply the lines evenly all around your lips. You can definitely shape with this kind of a wand. Is it drying is my question, because that's really for me what determines if it's a really good liquid lipstick. It is not ColourPop drying. It is not Kylie Cosmetics drying. It is, I would say, about Dose of Colors drying. It's not the most comfortable. It will feel dry the longer that you wear it. If you put chapstick underneath, which is what I usually do, it's okay. The longer you wear it, the drier it's going to feel for sure. And it's not my favorite liquid lipstick, but it's not the most uncomfortable either. So if that makes any sense. I just gave them a compliment and took it right back. Yeah, overall, I think that the brand is definitely moved in a different direction. You know, it being in the drugstore, it being affordable, and it performing very well. So if you haven't checked out the brand, I would say, hey, go for it. Especially, you know, the concealer I love, and then the eyeshadows, as much as they were powdery, I do like the pigmentation. I do like the fact that there's glittery, shimmery shades in these palettes. I think they're very beautiful palettes. Definitely give it a shot. You know, if you go to Ulta, go to Walmart, you know, just take a look and see if there's a product there that kind of catches your attention, because I think that it is a really nice brand. So those are my thoughts. If you guys have any comments, questions, or maybe your own favorites of the Flower Beauty line, leave it down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in my next video.